This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Audible. Coming up, two classics now in HD and on a single disc, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus.
Everybody, and welcome to the Totally Rad Show. We've got a great week today. We're talking about the HD re-release on the PS3 of two big PS2 titles, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus.
And then Tuesday, we're going back to the world of comics, and we're checking out Brilliant and All-Star Western, both with #1s last week.
Woo. Then on a Wednesday, we're watching some more TV with you guys. It's American Horror Story.
Yes. Thursday, we jump into the boxing ring of robots. Our review of Real Steel.
And Friday, we're checking in on our radars once again with some really cool stuff that you're not going to want to miss. Movies, video games, bibbidi bip bip, bibbidi bip.
Speaking of bibbidi bip 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 bips.
Very cool Jaws background.
Amazing.
Eating our faces.
And our logo.
Jason Solom sent that in. If you want to send in your background, send it to fans@totallyradshow.com. You can see your artwork on our show.
Bam! Let's get into it.
Today we're talking about two very popular, very highly regarded video games from Ueda-san, Ico and Shadow of Colossus, that were released on the PS2 that have now just been re-released in updated HD versions together in one package on one Blu-ray disc for the PS3.
And for cheap.
And for cheap,
like
yes.
$40.
Mm-hmm. And I think the original idea was that these were going to whet the appetite and school
yes.
a whole new generation of players that may not have played Ueda-san's masterpieces, a lot of people call them.
Like me.
Like you. In anticipation of Last Guardian, which, of course, now we have a Tokyo Game Show that just came and went recently, and nor hide nor hair was seen of it.
Yep.
But he is, of course, a very notoriously persnickety perfectionist who will not be releasing that game until he is satisfied with it. And I think that's the reputation that was built on these two great games that I know, Dan, are two of your favorite games of all time. So we have Ico, which is the story of a young boy who has to protect a little girl, guiding her around. Her name's Yorda, guiding her around by the hand through a castle, and you know, it's a bunch of puzzles and protecting her from shadow creatures. And then we have Shadow of the Colossus, which is almost a sequel of sorts, but
Or a prequel.
Or a prequel. Mm-hmm. And it's another kind of young, nameless protagonist and his horse, who are tasked by the spirits to take down a series of colossi, these gigantic creatures that wander the barren wilderness, and each of them has a different method that you need to take them down in order to free the spirit of his young girl. So I think we'll talk about them together as you would like, but tell me why these are your favorite games of all time, and tell me if this version of them trumps previous versions, is worth the money, even if you've played them before.
Yeah, I've brought these up an annoying amount of times in discussing other video games, and only brought them up.
I kept saying, because I'd never played them, I was like, really? Oh, a little girl with her hand.
I've only brought them up comparatively, so now I get to say exactly why I love these games. First of all of the elements that were stamped on the next-gen consoles, I think were present in these games way ahead of their time. No HUD.
Yep.
The aesthetic of that washed-out HDR blooming highlights thing present in this game, in both games. Ico is, the thing I love about them is that they're equal parts Miyazaki, Terrence Malick, Amblin, and silent film. And I say they're like Terrence Malick because they're not, maybe not for everyone. They're not the most mainstream games, but the people that do appreciate it, incredible. But it's got the charm of the way the animations are so smooth and were at the time. They remind me of Don Bluth cartoons. They remind me of that band, the Disney cartoon, the Black Cauldron, the shadow creatures. And in HD, you know, before they were just sort of shadowy blobs.
Blurry.
Now,
too.
yeah, now you can really see their features. This game looks stunning in HD. The kid is clearly Asian. I didn't know that before because you couldn't really see his face. It is remarkable how good. And it's funny that Ico looked better to me than Shadow of the Colossus, even though Shadow of the Colossus came out later. And I wonder if that's because Ico, I was used to had less powerful graphics because it was an older game, so seeing it in HD looks even like just the difference is more powerful. But incredible games, yeah, and the packaging. The disc comes with bonus content where they have amazing in-depth interviews with the creators, as well as they show that Shadow of the Colossus was originally going to be something they called Nico, which was supposed to be an online, massively multiplayer online game where a bunch of people, because the gimmick of Shadow of the Colossus is basically just boss fights, right?
Yeah.
So the idea was you're going to be multiple people just taking down bosses, and
Basically Monster Hunter.
Yeah, kind of like, or Lost Planet 2 kind of attempted that, but like, first of all, it looked amazing. They showed like what they put together. To see that is so fun. It's a great for $40 to get all that bonus content and 2 incredible game experiences that look awesome. I wish I could have been playing them in 3D. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Alex, you'd never played these before?
No, I'd never. And I mean, it's kind of weird because these games, it's really hard to explain them in a way that articulates the emotion that you will have in these games. Because you go, well, you have this little girl's hand and you kind of follow through and you're protecting her. That does not scratch the surface of the emotional impact the first time you, and these are 2 games, they're amazing games, I mean, obviously, but they're both hanging their hat on a gameplay mechanic that is in one part simple and in another part extremely complex in the way that they were executed.
Right.
You know, having this thing where you have this girl and she kind of follows you, you can kind of like go, hey, come over here, but you can also grab her by the hand and drag her. And drag her around. That seems so simple, but when the first time you figure out how to grab her hand, and the way that the animation is, it feels perfect. And even just the way that it feels and looks on screen releases such an emotion that it's like I don't even know.
You're protecting someone.
Yeah.
That Miyazaki or Pixar like nonverbal communication, the way that
talk about nonverbal communication. Both of these games open with almost 20 minutes of this amazing story that could have been the most amazing animated short film of those years.
No dialogue.
No dialogue.
No instruction on what you're supposed to do.
At the very end of Ico's, there's a little bit of dialogue, but it's vague. It's unimportant, really. It's just sort of like, oh, they can speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Shadow of the Claw, I mean, like, as that game is starting, I mean, I'm sitting there like, what the hell is this game? And then the way that the game is like, I mean, it seems so simple. It's like there are X number of statues. They have big guys
16?
out in the world.
13, I think.
They have big guys out in the world that are like the actual version, and you just go kill them. So simple. But then you get out on the horse, and I think you totally nailed it. The way that, I mean, it runs the way that you ran in the rodeo style run in Gears of War that people were like mind-blowing. It's like that's how it looked when you were riding on this horse on a PS2 game. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just, I mean, they're just great games.
Do you think that they stand up to stuff today, or do you think they show their age?
I think that the only place that they show their age is in the graphics.
And do you think, I mean, how do you guys like the HD updates?
Oh,
That's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
you do know
the characters seem to be refined more than the environments.
Yeah.
It's not what they're doing with the Halo Anniversary.
No,
That's true, yeah.
no. It's not. I mean, it really is. If you bought the PS2 game and put it in your PS3, you could play it and it would be like, whoa,
Well,
it's
I
like
have
playing
that. Yeah,
Minecraft.
yeah, I
you
do
know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
But so what they did is they made it more palatable to people's visual aesthetics, but you still feel like you're playing an older game.
Definitely.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's like playing Tetris. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like the games are so.
And there's still the aesthetic is so unique and original even still today that it's still cool looking. It's just like watching an older movie that the animation, if you watch an old Disney movie, we've come so far in animation, but like still the quality of the animation and like in terms of just the art behind it and just what the vision is still unique and the score is
beyond worth $40, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially if you've never played these games, because it's a great package that you can lose yourself in for a long time. I mean, Shadow of the Colossus is not a long game, but they're both such rich experiences, and you nailed it in my opinion. The emotion of it is really unmatched. I still think he works in an emotional way more than any other game designer that I can think of. And it's these evocative things, and of course, Last Guardian is going to be about having this pet, and I can only imagine.
Oh Lord! Now I don't want to play
like. It. Yeah. But it's amazing to me that the mechanics that these two games are built on. One of them is basically one giant escort quest, and the other one is one giant boss fight. Two things that I tend to not like very much in games.
Oh, interesting.
And the entire games are that, and yet I love them. So it's proof that those two concepts can be done well. Of course, there's a part of me that wishes that it had been more like Halo Anniversary, where they really update all the textures and make it look like a modern game. They didn't do that. It is just sharper around the edges. There's not that blurriness. I played Ico on the PS3, and it is noticeably sharper, crisper, 1080p. I think it's 1080p or something.
You meant to say you played the Ico PS2 version on your PS3.
Exactly. And now I played this new Blu-ray version. And there's a marked difference, but it's still not. No one's gonna walk in and go, "Oh, is that a new game?"
Right.
But boy, like you said, $40 for both these games is great, and then the bonus stuff is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And Last Guardian cannot get here quick enough, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't want my bird to be hurt.
Don't hurt the bird.
Don't hurt the bird.
Yeah. So check these out. Don't let them get lost in the sea of fall releases.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, everybody, be sure to stick around for this day in rad history. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, Jeff Cannata.
I love it when Audible.com sponsors the show because I am an avid user of Audible.com, and I get to tell you from personal experience, that is a great way to multitask. It's a great way to listen to books because books, while I try to stuff them into my eye holes, oftentimes I don't have enough time to just relax and open up a book and get some reading time in. But I can stuff them in my ear holes while I'm doing other stuff with Audible.com. Audible has over 100,000 titles. Chances are, if it's a book and it's recent, and even if it's not recent, they got it. You can put them on your iPod, any MP3 player you got. Play them back anytime. I like to listen and run or do housework or, just lay there sometimes.
Yeah, by the beach.
They have every single genre you want. Thrillers, drama, comedy, business, history, nonfiction, fiction, anything you want. If you go to audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad, you can get a free audiobook download of your choice if you sign up today. I will recommend brand new release. One of my favorite authors in the world has finally come out with a new book. His name is Neil Stephenson, and the new book is called Remedy, which is a play on Read Me. If you watch the show, you will love this author. This book is all about the stuff we all love. So audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad.
Perfect.
Get yourself an audiobook.
Yeah, do it. Wonk, wonk.
Check us out tomorrow for a look at the brilliant and all-star Western comics.
Today is October 3rd, and on this day in rad history, back in 1906, in Berlin, the Second International Conference on Wireless Telegraphy adopts SOS as the international distress signal.
Awesome.
Do you know what SOS is in Morse code?
No, isn't it?
It's like a
dash
beep,
dot dot dash.
It's like a dot 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 dash dot dot dash dot 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 something like that. I know it's like beep, 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 beep. I think it's dash dash dot 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 dash 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 dot dot dot.
Let's talk about this longer.
Yeah, because I think it's ba 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 ba.
Either way.
And I don't know what SOS stands for. but
Send
it may
out
just very
services.
send out ships.
Save only
Or
someone.
Save us suckers, and then you turns into S when you speak.
All right.
Anyway, thank you, Andre Bibu, for sending that to
Alexandre.
Alexandre Bibu.
You know that name.
I do.
Familiar.